The main hope of a nation lies in the proper education of its youth. Education in South Africa and around the world is recognized as a key instrument in human capital development. Little is more important to our development than equal access to quality education for all those who seek it. The right to education is captured in Section 29 of the Constitution, which states that everyone has the right to basic education, including adult basic education, to further education, which the state, through reasonable measures, must make progressively available and accessible. Despite this, access to quality education and education funding remains one of the greatest challenges faced by young South Africans today. How can we talk about the born-free generation in 2020 when young South Africans are being taught in classrooms without electricity, at schools without running water and sanitation, and by teachers held hostage by the unions? How can we talk about the born-free generation in 2020 when matriculants cannot access tertiary education because of financial exclusion? ActionSA believes that all South Africans should be able to access a quality education no matter who they are, where they live, or what they earn. We cannot deny that access to education has increased since 1994, but a greater access to education is meaningless if it cannot produce capable individuals who are able to act in a fast-changing labor market, as well as to empower young people to start their own businesses. What use is an education system that allows many individuals to fall through the cracks? A study by the Council of Higher Education, published in 2013, found that one of the many reasons students performed poorly at universities was because they weren't properly prepared by schools. The gap between the NSC pass requirements and entry requirements in universities means that many school leavers are left without options. Lowering the pass marks has achieved to produce more matriculants attaining their certificates, increasing the NCS pass rates, but has completely failed to produce capable individuals. Our education system must teach critical thinking and entrepreneurial skills that will empower young people to be active participants in the economy. We must implement skills development that allows young people to become employers rather than employees. We must empower South Africa's youth to be resilient and adaptable in a changing world and ensure that they are capable of thriving in a new economy. My fellow young South Africans, South African universities can only accommodate 18% of South African matriculants, of which 47% of those drop out. If one expands university access to include open distance learning, the number of those that can be accommodated rises to 68. It is clear that the state has failed to make tertiary education equally accessible to all those who wish to further their education. South Africa needs to prioritize building more universities, technikons, and colleges in order to make sure that everyone has equal access to quality education. Many people will ask, where will we get the money to pay for this? I ask you this. How can a government that is willing to waste millions on 74 ministers and deputy ministers to tell young people that there is no money to fund tertiary education? How can a government that wastes billions on entities like SAA tell young people that they must give up hope? South Africa may not yet be ready to offer free tertiary education yet, but this issue can be addressed with the political willpower to cut wasteful expenditure and redirect this funding towards things that actually matter, like fixing our schools and allowing matriculants to access tertiary education. My fellow young South Africans, it is undeniable that the education system of South Africa as a whole is completely flawed, and this is a crisis we cannot take lightly, given that South Africa's economic prosperity hugely relies on an educated population. The education system can be fixed, but we first need to fix the government. We need a government that cares about young people and doesn't take them for granted. ActionSA believes that quality education is key to overcoming the legacy of apartheid and healing our country from our painful past. We must act as one to provide quality education to all South Africans. We must act as one to ensure that young South Africans are equipped to be active participants in the economy. We must act as one for an education system that will give young South Africans hope for their future. Thank you.